and it's their fault.
Yeah.
But they get to the last moment and they make a mess. So we've seen some runs where I think we could have jumped into the 90s at this point. Mika Diaz being a standout, but just that last corner starts to, you almost get too excited. You're pushing the car too far, and eventually, as you get around that course, it bites you somewhere and you lose a lot of score. So at the moment, we have got a Zach in the 370Z, if I'm not mistaken, with the highest score right now. So a stock VQ is now the leader in qualifying. So just, we talked about it. Anything can happen, right? But a man who doesn't have a stock VQ, definitely the opposite, is the brand new GR86 of Nate Hamilton, 3.4 stroke 2JZ, and he was sensational in practice. Everybody was looking at Nate saying, this is the guy that seems to have this figured out. But it is a first debut weekend for this competitive chassis, so let's see how he gets on.
Nate, big initiation getting that car out there. This is a man who basically set this track out. He was one of the first ones to run it, so he might have the most experience here, and we're already seeing that with Nate. Coming from the V8, going to the 2J, it doesn't even matter to him. He is so smooth and so soft on the pedal. It's almost relaxing to watch him drive. And for a car that is so aggressive, like, look at it, just makes it look like butter. Goes a little bit wide there.
It's almost perfect from start to finish. And I'll tell you one thing about Nate for me. It's like, if the judges had a school, he'd be the first. He'd be right up the front. He's like right up the front with the hand up, asking questions. He does everything you want him to do as a judge. He doesn't, basically, you can give him any set of criteria, and he's thinking, how do I impress those judges? And that's a phenomenal run from Nate there. I've got to say, that's probably my favorite run of the event so far.
Yeah, he is an early on favorite. I mean, if you watched, and if you get a chance when this is over, go back and watch all the LZ World Tour events, because Nate was crushing. Like, every single event he'd go in and do something nuts. And now that he's got his own car and a fresh build, it's wild.
Yeah, I mean, there's still room there for a little bit of flair in the run. This was definitely, you could tell Nate was doing the safe run to get the score on the board. But from perspective of, this is going to go first. Yeah, it's first place in qualifying. 90.3 for Nate Hamilton. Jumps into the 90s. And again, still has some in the tank there. That was a safe run for him. So if it's safe run is 90, be prepared for his second. We go back to the start line.